bringing my co-host here.
What's up, guys? Yeah, we're just gonna be talking game ones of the 8 playoff series in the East and West.
All right. What do you say? Start Bucks and Heat, the 1-8 in the East.
Yeah, but before that, I have a little trivia question for you. Something
Okay.
fun to spice it up.
All
Okay,
right. Sure.
so I'm gonna give you 2 minutes.
Two.
Okay, and I'll start whenever you are ready.
Okay.
And you have to name the 14 players that averaged at least 25 points per game this season. So
14,
whenever you
14
whenever you're ready.
average 25 points.
Yep.
Okay. Giannis.
Okay.
KD.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron?
Actually, no, Kevin Durant did not. Sorry.
Okay.
Giannis was one of them.
No LeBron.
No LeBron.
All right. AD.
Nope.
Booker.
Nope.
What? I mean, did they just not play enough games?
Yeah, there is a games played minimum of 60.
Oh, okay. All right. Jokic.
Nope.
Embiid.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Brown and Tatum.
Yep. Yep. 10
Uh,
more.
Trey Young.
Yep.
Okay, it's five. Wow. Fox.
Yep.
Okay. Uh, Jimmy Butler.
No. You have
Yeah.
about a minute left.
Okay. Luca.
Luca. Yes.
All right. What am I at? 9.
Got 7.
Oh, what? All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Randall.
Randall did. Yes. 6 more.
Brunson.
Brunson did not.
Mitchell.
Mitchell did.
Okay.
Now you're at 9.
Edwards.
He did not.
Okay, Edwards, no. Uh,
30 seconds.
Sabonis didn't, did he?
No.
All right, didn't think so. Kawhi, did he play enough?
Nope.
No. Paul, oh, gosh. Now we're getting into the non-playoff team. Levine,
Nope.
DeRozan,
Nope.
Vooch,
Nope.
Shea did.
Shay did. 4 more, and your time is out now. If you can get to 4 more in the next 10 seconds, I'll allow it.
4 more in 10 seconds. Oh gosh. Yeah, actually, I know it.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to hear the 4 you missed?
Sure.
So you missed Dame,
Oh, Dame.
John Morant,
Really? I didn't think Ja would have the games played. That's why I didn't guess Ja Morant. I didn't think he got to 60 games.
John Morant, Kyrie,
Yeah, I didn't think Kyrie got to 60 games either.
and then this is a little bit surprising, but Laurie Markkinen.
Oh, oh my. Yeah, those were okay. I didn't think Kyrie or Ja got to 60. I should have gotten Dame and Larry Marketing though.
Yeah.
All right. That was fun. That was a nice little twist. Okay, cool. Well, so you're ready to get into our game ones in the playoffs this year?
I am.
All right. Want to start Bucks and Heat?
I think that's where you want to start, so let's
Uh,
go.
not
I'm going to
particularly.
read over I'm going to read over some of the big headlines, and then we can get into the nitty-gritty,
All
okay?
right. All right.
So some of the major headlines. Giannis injured his lower back midway through the first quarter. The X-rays came back negative, but his status is in question for game 2. However, per Shams, there's optimism that he plays. Uh, in the second quarter, Tyler Hero was diving for a loose ball and he broke his hand. He's out probably the rest of the playoffs. And then, despite those injuries, the Heat did prevail under Jimmy Butler's 35 points.
Yeah.
So I can see you shaking your head.
And then just a little. The final score was the Heat 130 and then the Bucks 117. Just add that in there.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just get right into it. This isn't happening again. I mean, it's just not. The Bucks are not going to lose by. They're probably not going to lose again to this team. And you want to know why? You want to know why?
I want to know why.
The Miami Heat shot 60% from three for a team that was 27th in the league and shot 34.8 during the regular season. And the Bucks shot 24% from three when they shoot 36.8, and they lost by 13 without the best basketball player in the world on the court for 38 minutes of the game. Not saying he would have played all 38, but he played 10 minutes, and like 4 of those were like hobbling his back injured. That being said, I do expect him to play in game 2. I don't think he'll sit because I don't think game 2 is a must win for the Bucks. I think that even if they lose game 2, they can still win this series. But Giannis is,
Really?
yeah. Giannis is a
Okay.
competitor. It's the playoffs. He's going to want to play. All right. So anything you want to get into off the back from this game? Anything? I don't know how much you saw of this game or if something stood out to you, but because a lot of things stood out to me.
Yeah, I think your Bucks are in trouble, man.
Really,
I think your Bucks are in
Bucks are in
trouble.
trouble.
I
Really,
think I think I think playoff Jimmy Butler is in full effect.
we're talking about the same Jimmy Butler who had like what 60 total points 2 years ago against this team. It's just for me, it just didn't make sense what Coach Budenholzer did. I don't understand the logic in what he did guarding Jimmy Butler. You start out with Drew Holiday on him. I think that's fine, but I probably would have started just some of the defensive matchups I thought were really strange. He started Grayson Allen on Tyler Hero, and then he started Drew Holiday on Jimmy Butler. I probably would have gone Drew on Tyler Hero, and then maybe go with Chris Middleton on Jimmy Butler if you didn't want to start Giannis on him, because we all know Giannis can guard Jimmy Butler. He did it 2 years ago. He shut Jimmy Butler down for 4 straight games. So you know you can go to that. But the thing that really bugged me was in the his first substitution of the game was Joe Ingles. And we didn't
Hey,
see
that's a 6-man. Let's go.
no, he's not even that. And we didn't see Jay Crowder till the second quarter. Joe Ingles was a -12 when he was on the court. Jay Crowder was a -4, which, isn't great, but, losing by 13. Jay Crowder was definitely the better player. And in the end, Jay Crowder played more minutes. Well, I don't know. He played more minutes, but Joe Ingles only played 15 minutes despite being the first guy off the bench. I just don't see Joe Ingles' like spot here in the series. So, I mean, I don't know. I just question some of his decisions. I'm hoping that he'll rethink what he did in game 1 and maybe he'll adjust. I mean, but then again, we're not going to see Tyler Hero, so that's just another third. If you'd rather have 40 minutes of Duncan Robinson or 40 minutes of Tyler Hero, you're going to take your 40 minutes of Duncan Robinson. We might see Victor Oladipo, maybe see more Kyle Lowry in game 2. But, Tyler Hero is a huge loss for this team, and I think the Bucks will definitely benefit from that.
Mm-hmm. So going forward, who do you see taking this series?
Oh, I mean, just one more thing that's going to add to my argument. This will be Jimmy Butler's played essentially 3 playoff games at this point. He played 43 minutes in a game 1. He's 33 years old. He's a great athlete, great shape. But you could tell by the end of the game, he was starting to miss some free throws. He was getting tired. He can't play 43 minutes for the rest of the series. And I think if they want to win, that's what it's going to have to be. And then I think the other thing was Bam just started making some of the mid-range shots that he'll usually miss. I'm not too concerned over Bam making a bunch of second half mid-range shots because he missed them. He missed them against the Hawks. He missed them against the Bulls. And now you got Brook Lopez, who's a better defender than anyone on the Hawks or the Bulls. So, I mean, it was just I just think that the Heat got a bunch of shooting luck. I think the Bucks take care of this team in 5 or 6 games. And I think that this will be a complete non-conversation after game 2. And do you have any differing opinions?
I do. I think even if you get Giannis back for game 2, how healthy is he going to be? How good is he going to be? How effective is he going to be with that lower back? I think that's the first thing you got to worry about, right?
Yeah.
Second thing you got to worry about is you are going against Jimmy Butler, and this dude is different in the playoffs.
Oh,
We know that.
It wasn't different 2 years ago.
Well, last year he was different. Bubble, he was different. He's different in the playoffs. So you got to watch out for Jimmy freaking Butler, man.
So what, you think the Heat are going to win this series?
I think it's going to go to 7.
Oh my gosh, that is an awful take.
Look, dude, the Bucks have to win a road game. How confident are you that you can win a road game
I'm very confident. I think
after
we'll take
after
care of.
that first showing?
I think we'll take care of this team in the next 4 games.
So you think Bucks in 5?
Bucks in 5.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see where we go with this. I'm curious to see how Giannis plays next game if he does.
Me too.
Um,
I expect him to play it, and I think he'll be effective.
and I want to see Drew Holiday shoot the ball better. Um, but
All
yeah,
right.
you want to move on to the Hawks Celtics?
Yeah. Well, we'll move on. Hawks Celtics. Not sure if this will be all that long, to be honest. It wasn't very competitive to my knowledge, but if you want to read some of the key points from the game.
Yeah, so the Celtics were up by as much as 32. Um, and the Hawks did come back, cut the lead down to 12 midway through the fourth quarter. Celtics did prevail and win by 13. Their defense was spectacular. They held the Hawks to 99 points, shooting 39% from the field and 17% from three. And Brown and Tatum combined for 54 points and 23 rebounds. Um, so where do you want to start with this?
I think we start with Sam Hauser versus Grant Williams. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
can't argue it worked out. I did not expect to not see Grant Williams in this game.
well, I think Missoula's, game plan is to introduce Grant Williams in the later series when you match up against bigger teams like the Sixers, the Bucks, maybe the Heat, whatever. But when you're going against these, the Hawks, who are a pretty small team, you go with Hauser as your eighth man.
All right. I mean, yeah, I can see that. I was pretty interested. I haven't been paying as close as attention to the Celtics as you have. Have they been bringing Robert Williams off the bench this year? I know he had points where he was injured, and I know he had points where he started, but towards the end of the year, did they go small with Horford at center?
Yeah, they have recently.
Okay.
And I think that's what they'll continue to do,
Especially for this series.
throughout the next few games, at least in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Um, he did look fantastic off the bench. May I add, he was flying around.
He was the only Celtic who had a negative plus minus.
Yeah, but his health is in effect. Whatever.
I mean, it's not
His
like
athleticism was there. His knee looked good. He looked good yesterday,
yeah.
or 2 days ago. And I think that's probably the brightest, the key takeaway for Celtics in this game, because it wasn't ever really a worry.
Right. I mean, you're going to need this guy.
Yeah,
This is what
absolutely.
you're going to need, especially when you go up against Philadelphia next series.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So even if you like this wasn't his most effective game, it's more about making sure he's healthy and working him up to being able to play. I think that between 32-minute role when you need to play, when you're going to have multiple guys to take a turn on Joel Embiid.
Exactly.
So I mean, I agree. I think the Celtics. I mean, we saw exactly what we thought we would see. Hawks don't have anyone that can stop Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, excuse me. And I mean, the Celtics, they dominated this game. Hawks did have a better second half, but I mean, the game was pretty much over at halftime, right?
Mhm.
Easy to say. I mean, just kind of looking through a lot of these Hawks didn't have great games, rough games from Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, which, I think was kind of to be expected with how talented that Boston backcourt is, especially on the defensive end. But in fairness, I don't see many more games where Trae Young and DeJounte combined for a 1 for 11 from three. Granted, I also don't think the Hawks win a game in this series,
No.
but I think they could be. I think the games definitely could be a little bit more competitive. But Trae Young struggling in the play, and I did actually. I want to. I didn't watch all of the game. I did watch the first quarter, and it just looked like Trae Young was really uncomfortable, just forcing a bunch of threes, which I don't really think is his game at this point.
Hmm.
I think it's more driving, getting his teammates involved, but it just looks like he was settling for threes. And then the Celtics defense was just making him very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's what happens when you throw Smart and Derek White on Trae Young. think he shot 4 for 13 when those two guys were the primary defenders. To be expected, honestly, to the better perimeter defenders in basketball.
Yeah. So as I think game one only reassured myself that it's going to be probably Celtics in 4, maybe 5. Any differing opinions?
Yeah, I think 5. I think one of these games, probably game 3 or 4. I think the Hawks kind of get really hot from 3 and maybe make 23s.
Yeah.
And then we saw Tatum, he kind of faded. Yeah, I think he had 21 at halftime and finished with 25. He was really, really bad in the second half from
Yeah.
offensively, rather. So was Brogdon, too.
Yeah. Well, hey, win's a win. They didn't really need him in the second half. I wouldn't put too much stock into the second half. I think they kind of probably took their foot off the gas.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Want to move Sixers Nets?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Want to go through the headlines quick?
Yeah, this wasn't really much of a game at all. Kind of what everybody expected, but the 76ers did win by 20, despite Embiid kind of not playing up the par. He only had 26 points, which I know is still a lot, but for Embiid, it's not. What interested me is the Nets shot 56% from the field, and they still lost by 20,
Yeah.
which is pretty sad.
Final score 121-101, just to add that in there. And
Yep.
thing I want to kind of start with was just the Nick Claxton on Joel Embiid experience. It did not go well. Granted, Claxton stayed out of foul trouble, but while on the court, he was still a negative 20, which led the team for worst plus minus on the team. So the Claxton minutes were not good. They did not stop him defensively. But I think just based off of that, I think you're going to see the Nets go smaller tonight. Just because the Claxton minutes went so poorly, I think they're going to have to try and outscore the Nets. And I mean, it's not like Claxton played a ton. He played 30 minutes. But I think you're going to see a lot more of the Dinwiddie Bridges, Cam Johnson, Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith lineup, maybe?
Yeah, which I do think Dorian Finney-Smith needs more minutes. He only played 18 in game 1.
Yeah.
He's probably the best Nets player aside from Bridges in game 1. They were only -2 with him on the court in those 18 minutes,
Right.
which is very good for a 20-point loss.
Yeah, very good. I mean, I thought Seth Curry also had a nice game scoring the ball. I mean, obviously, you're always going to have to deal with him being a negative on defense, but I thought Seth Curry had a nice game.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else? Bridges, I think probably that could have been his best game of the series, and they lost by 20. I mean, he was really efficient. 12 of 18, he had 30 points, and they still lost by 20. So, I mean, I don't know. I just don't see this going very well for the Sixers or for the Nets. I think that they played really good. Like you said, they shot 56% from the field and still lost by 20. Harden was 1 for 8 on his 2-point field goals and didn't take a single free throw and still beat the Nets by 20. Granted,
Yeah.
76ers also had a record-breaking performance from 3. So you can factor that in. But I don't know. Just looking back at the game, that was one of the games I did watch. And it seemed more competitive when I watched it, but just looking back at how well the Nets actually did play and how like some of the things the Sixers usually do, like Harden getting to the free throw line, just did happen and they still won by a ton. I think the Sixers take care of this team easily. I think they probably sweep them, maybe in 5, but I don't think this is going to be.
Yeah. No, I mean, nothing from 2 days ago convinced me that this shouldn't be a sweep.
Yeah.
To be honest,
who knows? Maybe
Sixers need to take care of them in 4.
Yeah, I agree. Get ready for the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
That'll
be a doozy.
Oh yeah. All right.
That might be the best series of the playoffs this year.
It could be. We'll have to. Yeah, it could be. All right. Well, want to move Cavs Knicks.
Yep, let's do that.
All right. Want to read some of the game notes from it?
Yes. So the Knicks did prevail in a defensive battle. They won 101 to 97, despite Donovan Mitchell scoring 38. And Brunson was the key driver in that win. He had 27. 21 of those points were in the second half. And they did pick up this key road win that I think will determine the series.
All right. I mean, I think we need to start with the Cavs, obviously, as they were the favorite going in. And just the Cavs rotation concerns me so much. I'm just gonna read you off some of the rotational decisions, okay? So we had Dean Wade, who played 7 minutes and was a minus 14 in 7 minutes. Rubio was a minus 9 in 6 minutes, and then Levert was a minus 14 in 18 minutes. And those were, I mean, that's and then Chetty Osman played 19. That was all that they had on the bench, which led to Mitchell playing 44 minutes, Garland playing 43, Allen playing 43, and Mobley playing 38. And this was all in a game one of a 7-game series that will likely go 6 or 7, and they lost. So I'm just concerned where the net or where the Cavs are going to get any offensive production from their non-starters.
I I don't see any promise that they do, honestly.
But I mean, the Cavs just they're not going to be able to hold up. They're this team cannot rely. I mean, I'm all for relying on your starters, especially in games that matter like this. But this is the first round. If you want any chance of going deep, you can't be playing Mitchell and Garland 44 and 43 minutes in a game one. I think I'm fine with upper 30s, between 38 and 40, I think is probably where most stars should stick in a playoff game. But
Yeah.
especially in the first round, like that, like if this was like even the second round, I could understand that. But and I could also understand why they did it, wanting to get a game at home. Obviously, losing on your home floor is not what you want to do. But still, it was I don't
I
know.
don't think Allen can withstand 43 minutes a game.
Especially
That's crazy.
yeah. I mean, maybe I'd expect Mobley to play more than Allen, but yeah, 43 from Allen was something I was not expecting. Speaking of things I was not expecting, holy cow, this Knicks bench was awesome. I mean, it was awesome. Ubi Toppin in 14 minutes was a plus 12. Hartenstein was a plus 19 in 22 minutes. Hart was a plus 5 in 33, and then quickly was a plus 8 in 24 minutes. Like this Knicks bench was awesome. And I think as much as it was Brunson having an awesome second half and Mitchell having an awesome game, I think what really mattered was the Knicks bench was awesome and the Cavs bench sucked.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that's going to be the deciding factor in this series. And I think that the Knicks will win in 6 or 7 just because they're a lot deeper than the Cavs.
That is true. I mean, I don't know. I just think even if I think the Cavs can still win this series. I don't think it's over by any means. I actually think the Cavs probably will still win this series. But you have to have more your bench can't be a negative for you. If anything, they just have to get you until your starters can come back in the game. But with how bad this Cavs bench was, it's real concerning. And how good the Knicks bench was very, very eye-opening.
Yeah, so you really don't think you really still think the Cavs win this after what we saw yesterday?
I just think the Cavs are still the better team. But don't get me wrong. I definitely think this will likely go 6 or 7. And I honestly think it's a toss up at this point. I mean, even just with how poorly the Cavs kind of looked, I mean, there's some things that can really make it even worse. Like, think about it. Brunson played 30 minutes. That's a guy who usually plays 38 to 40 in regular season games. He averaged 35 on the year, but in competitive games, he would see between 38 and 40. Randall played 34. He's usually a guy that plays 38 to 40. So, I mean, I think I will still take the Cavs in 7, but this is one of the game two. I think this might be the most interesting game two to watch, just to see where this goes. It's probably going to be up there with, honestly, probably Clippers, Suns, and Warriors, Kings as the most interesting game twos to watch, just to see how the Cavs respond. And I mean, I think the series is probably over if the Knicks win game two. But
I honestly don't see the Cavs winning a single game in New York in this series.
yeah, I think it'll be tough.
I think
But
it's too hard.
I think the good thing about the Cavs is that they're freaking awesome on defense, and defense is something that travels. So that's why I'm still gonna pick the Cavs. But I don't think I thought the Cavs would probably win in 5 or 6, and now I think it's probably Cavs in 7, if I had to guess. I mean, it's you have to win 4 out of the next 6 games. That's what
Well,
it could
I got Knicks in 7.
6 and 7. I mean, I think it could really go either way at this point.
Yeah, we'll see how this progresses as we go on.
All right, let's head out west now. Start Knicks or not Knicks, Nuggets, Timberwolves. You want to read some of the highlights of the game?
Yeah. So the Nuggets won game one, 109 to 80. 6 Nuggets were in double figures. All 5 starters were. And this wasn't really ever close. Um, the Timberwolves, I mean, they couldn't play offense to save their lives. Anthony Edwards continues to struggle as well. I don't see anything good from the Timberwolves this game.
Yeah, 80 points in an NBA game is not very good. I think I kind of want to start with just, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I think if you're the Timberwolves, you just kind of throw this game out. I don't think they're going to get blown out by 30 every single game, but I mean, it's kind of hard to ignore the Rudy Gobert experiment. And he played 26 minutes and was a minus 28, which led the team in, I guess, being bad. So, I mean, I don't know. He's struggled against Jokic in the past. This is nothing new. But if you're if you're the T Wolves, I just don't know where you go from here. You're just completely outclassed by this team, and I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I think you kind of have to hope and pray that Anthony Edwards starts to pick it up because the last 3 games, most important 3 games of the Timberwolves season, he's been pretty horrible. Um, I want to see him pick it up real bad. I do think Nikhil Alexander-Walker was probably the lone bright spot for the Timberwolves. If you want to take anything away from this game.
Yeah, I mean, he was impressive in guarding Shea. I mean, Murray had a good game, but I mean, even Jamal Murray shot 9 of 22, which isn't like, I mean, it's good, but nothing like crazy. So, I mean, for some guy the Timberwolves got as a throw in the, I believe it was the Mike Conley trade. I mean, you got to be pretty happy with what you've gotten out of him, especially with Jalen McDaniels going down. I mean, it's a pretty good find for the T Wolves.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, some of the main things is, I mean, it was a close game. Timberwolves were down 5 at halftime. They got absolutely killed in the third quarter. Lost the quarter 32-14, and that's kind of where you lost the game essentially. But I mean, yeah, you're right. Nuggets starters especially were great. I mean, everyone had an above 15 plus minus, and they didn't play a lot of minutes. I mean, Aaron Gordon had 23, Michael Porter Jr. played 31, Jokic played 28, Jamal Murray led the game or led the team with 33 minutes, and then KCP played 31. But I mean, this doesn't surprise me. This doesn't make me think anything different about the series. I don't want to say, I think that Timberwolves lose in 4, maybe 5. Maybe they get, I mean, this isn't really even the team that could get hot from 3. You just don't have a bunch of high volume 3-point shooters. I mean, Cat can knock some down, Mike Conley. Edwards, if he just, starts to play basketball, he can knock him down. But like, this didn't change my opinion. I don't think every game's going to be a 30-point blowout, like I already said, but I think that the Nuggets handle this team.
In 4?
Yeah, I think they'll.
I'm gonna go Nuggets in 4.
I think the Nuggets probably win this in 4 as well.
All right. That was probably the most boring game to cover.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say about a 30-point blowout?
Not much.
Exactly.
But let's move on to what I think was probably one of, if not the most fun games, which was the Grizzlies versus the Lakers. The Lakers win this game 128 to 112, and boy, are there a lot of headlines to go over here. First, we have Ja Morant. His status is in question after taking that hard fall. Second, the Lakers ended the game 15 on a 15-0 run behind Austin Reeves. He powered them through. They won by 16. Anthony Davis, with one of the most incredible defensive performances we've seen in years. 7 blocks, 3 steals, and plus 27 in 37 minutes. I did leave briefly with that little stinger on his elbow or wherever on his arm. He said, "I can't move my arm," but he came back. I know Lakers fans were like holding their breath there.
I mean, I was holding my breath as an NBA fan.
Yeah, seriously. But I think probably the biggest headline was Rui Hachimura, 29 points off the bench, which was like I don't think anybody saw that coming.
It's out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. And him, Davis and Reeves, Austin Reeves, combined for 74, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
So where do you want to go with this? There's a lot to cover.
I mean, I think we have to start with just Anthony Davis doing exactly what we thought Anthony Davis would do. I mean, when he's healthy, he's one of the best. I don't care. He's definitely a top 10 player in the NBA when he's healthy. And this team was not good against Anthony Davis in the regular season, and then nothing changed. I mean, a plus 27 in this kind of game is just crazy. I mean, the next closest guy was D'Lo, who had a plus 20. I mean, Anthony Davis was undoubtedly the best player on the court in a really important game.
Yeah, he was dominant out there.
Yeah. All right.
Freaking dominant.
If we want to just look at what things that the Grizzlies can take away is Jaren Jackson Jr. had a great game. I mean, even it's hard to really say anyone had a great game in a 16-point loss, but Jaren Jackson Jr. was really good, I thought. Despite having a minus 15 plus minus, he was able to play 37 minutes, which I don't know if Jaren Jackson Jr. has ever been able to play 37 minutes. He had 3 personal fouls. I mean, 31 points on 13 of 21 shooting. I think you have to be happy with how Jaren Jackson Jr. played. And then, I mean, it's only going to become more imperative that he plays well, especially if Ja Morant is in jeopardy of missing the next game.
Yeah. And by the way, everything sounds, I don't think he will play next game.
Yeah, it seems a lot
pretty
more,
bad.
They don't. I mean, Giannis and Ja both took hard falls, and there seems to be a lot more optimism around Giannis than Ja.
Yeah. Ja landed like right on his hand, right?
Yeah, I did see
his wrist or something like this.
Yeah, he had his hand taped up, so I don't know. I don't know if Ja plays. I don't have a good feel on that one. I think Giannis plays. I definitely am more confident in Giannis playing than Ja Morant playing, but I think both of them should be considered fairly questionable. Ja more on the doubtful side, but
yeah. I think next to Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bain, I think he played pretty good yesterday. He was at 5 personal fouls. I did think it was questionable. I think with like 5 minutes left, he picked up his 5th foul, and Taylor Jenkins took him out of the game. I think that was a bit stupid, especially since that's right around where Ja Morant went down.
right. It's the
most. I did not like that questionable decision to pull him out.
Right. I mean, he's one of your best players, probably your third best player. You gotta, I mean, you gotta trust him. You gotta be able to trust him, especially in a game like this, where I mean, you knew the Lakers could go on a run. And the Grizzlies were struggling in the fourth quarter, I thought. I didn't think they looked particularly sharp. In the second half in general, actually.
Yeah, it was like right around uh when they took Bane out and Morant got injured that the run started.
Yeah. I mean, just everything fell apart for this team. I mean, I guess I want to. I mean, I think we have to go back to this Hachimura, 29 points on 11 of 14 shooting. I mean, it was crazy what he was doing for his team out there. And then, I mean, Darvin Ham just raved about this guy after the game, saying just a bunch of good things about Hachimura. But I mean, I think if you're the Grizzlies, you got to be confident Hachimura is not going to score 29 points a game on crazy efficiency.
No, he's not. I can see him getting, 12, 15 off the bench the rest of the series. Maybe he gets a starting nod, but no, not 29.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think without Ja Morant, this becomes extremely hard, especially if he's going to miss time, which it sounds more likely that he does than he doesn't. But I mean, they're just Jaren played well, but I don't think he can be your number one go-to option, especially with Anthony Davis out there. He had a great game protecting the paint. So, all in all, I don't think that this series is over. However, I do think game 2 is a must win for the Grizzlies. If they lose game 2, then the series will be over, going down 2-0 to Los Angeles, where their crowd will show up. So I think game 2 is about as must win for the Grizzlies as it gets, and I think it's going to be an awesome game to watch.
Yeah, I think that'll be the most interesting game too, in my opinion. Um, did want to leave you with kind of a hot take I've been brewing up.
All right.
I think Triple J is now, I can confidently say this, the best player on this Grizzlies team. Even with John Morant healthy.
Really? You think
I,
so?
I think Triple J is a better player on the court. Um,
I disagree with that, but
obviously we know how good this dude can be on defense, right?
oh yeah, I mean defense.
Defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Um, but it seems like ever since Jaw went out, you know, early March, he's averaged 24 points per game on efficient splits. He can shoot the three ball. He's starting to become pretty dominant in the paint. He gets these post moves down. And with John Morant's availability concerns, Jaren he's been a guy that you can rely on.
I actually like that. I was very impressed with how like the touch he had close to the rim. I mean, there was a couple of those like little like baby hook shots which I didn't know he had in his arsenal. And I thought that was very impressive and just another like evolution of his offensive game.
Yeah.
All right.
Another hot take too.
Oh, wow.
One more.
You really have some things to say about these Lakers and Grizzlies.
Yeah, I think the Lakers are my favorites to make it out of the West.
Really?
Yeah. And why do I say this? Well, obviously we don't know what Lakers team we're getting. Are we getting the one from last Tuesday where they barely beat the banged up Timberwolves? Are we getting the one from 2 days ago or yesterday where they beat the Grizzlies? I think we're going to see that Lakers team we saw yesterday for the next month and a half. And LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to continue to get better. They only combined for 43 points.
And they still won by 16.
They still won by 16. They're going to combine for 55 the rest of the playoff. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, I think that the Lakers are probably I think they're like gotta be top 3 or 4 talent wise. I think they could hang with any of the Warriors, Suns, or Nuggets. You're just playing injury roulette with LeBron and AD. If one of them goes down, the whole team falls apart.
Yeah. I don't
So
think one of them are going to go down.
yeah, well, I hope, as an NBA fan, I really hope they don't go down either, because I think that this Lakers team, when they're both healthy, I think it's fun to watch.
Mhm.
And I know, believe what you want about LeBron, but the playoffs are just better with LeBron in them.
They are. Objectively, as an NBA fan, you have to agree that the playoffs are better with LeBron.
Okay. All right.
They're not the
Well,
same without him.
exactly. I agree. I agree. All right. Want to move on to perhaps the most exciting game one. The three
Yes.
seed Kings versus the 6 seed Warriors.
Yeah. So the Kings won this game 126 to 123. Some of the bigger headlines. Obviously, Kings hosted their first playoff game in 17 years, and Sacramento was crazy, man. That I don't know if you watched the pregame rituals with like the lighting the beam, which I still don't understand the whole thing.
Nobody does,
But
but it's
yeah,
awesome.
what is that about? But that was freaking crazy, man. That was so cool to see. Um, Monk and Fox. Whoa, what what did Malik Monk eat for breakfast? Like, I hope he got a drug test yesterday. That was whoa. Um, but I think if you're a Warriors fan, you gotta be concerned. You can't win on the road. Now you're 11-31 on the road this year, um, and that you have to win a road game this series. How do you do that?
Yeah. I agree. But is this not what we said what was going to have to happen? We knew
It
that
is. It
Fox
is. We
Fox
knew.
was going to have to be great if the
Yeah.
Kings want to win, and Fox was great, and the Kings won.
Yeah, and I also think we all knew that the Kings would probably win this game just because of how bad of a road team the Warriors are. Plus, probably the best playoff environment this year in Sacramento. It's a recipe for the Kings winning game one.
Yeah. Um. So I think where I kind of want to start is on the Warriors side. They lost. Just nobody on the Warriors outside of one player actually had a great plus minus, which I just think is a good stat to look at how effective you were during your time on the court. And the one that stood out to me is both these players played 37 minutes. Steph Curry was plus 11, while Klay Thompson was minus 14.
Yeah, it's quite the difference between the Splash Brothers.
So the I just I just don't know where you find more minutes for Curry is kind of the problem. He played 37 and he's not the same young guy coming off. I mean, when you have to look back at last year, I mean, the Warriors won a title. So they played more games than anyone last year. So no matter what you say, even after the whole offseason and then obviously this season where Curry was injured, I mean, 37 minutes is a lot, I think, for Curry. But I don't know. And then I think the next thing I kind of want to go over is just seeing exactly what we thought would happen. Green and Looney were awesome on Sabonis. Sabonis was just not, he just didn't really seem comfortable out there. 5 for 17 overall, which, for someone that shoots a lot of his shots around the rim. Yeah.
I get.
Let's see what else. What else can we take away? Keegan Murray playing 16 minutes. I thought that was interesting. I didn't get the chance to watch this game, and obviously Malik Monk was on fire, so someone obviously had to play less to get him out there. But just only 16 minutes, which was the second least on the entire Kings roster. I just found that very interesting. Wasn't in foul trouble. I mean, granted, Trey Lyles actually had a great game. 6 for 8, 4 for 6 from three, 16 points. But I don't know. Just Keegan Murray was such a contributor all year. I found it interesting that he played 16 minutes.
Yeah, I hope to see him get more minutes next game. Um, I do think another thing to touch on was the Kings having 17 offensive rebounds, which translated to 21 second chance points.
Yeah.
What do you do if you're the Warriors? How do you prevent that in game two?
See, I think that that's always going to be the Warriors' biggest problem is their rebounding. I mean, for that team, it has to be such a team effort because I think your best lineup is going to be with Draymond Green at center. with Curry, Clay, Draymond, and then one of probably Poole, Wiggins, or Gary Payton II. I mean, so I think you're always going to have to worry about the offensive rebounding, but you also have to keep in mind that the Kings do have one of the best, if not the best, offensive rebounder in basketball in Domantas Sabonis. So you knew this was going to be a problem coming in. So they probably should have handled that a little bit better. I think probably should have tried to prepare for that a little bit more, and I think they will be.
So do you think they put Looney on the court more in those, late game situations where you need to rebound?
The problem is with Looney is he played 32 minutes. This isn't a guy who really plays upper 30s. I think this is a guy who plays upper 20s as like his upper limit. So the fact that they got 32 minutes out of him, I I just don't know how many more minutes you can play Kevin Looney or Kayvon Looney. So I would like to say that yeah, put him on the court more, but I just don't know if you can.
So I guess what's the long term solution? Like who else do you have?
I don't know. I just Anthony Lamb was really good in the regular season. He didn't play. I think you can try him. Kaminga played 10 minutes. They were fine. I mean, he wasn't a super negative, but I just don't I just don't know. I think the Warriors played. I think they just need to stick to their 8 best players, which was their 5 starters: Wiggins, Payton, and Poole. I think that you can get away with playing Green and Looney at center, and I think that's probably where you go the rest of the series. I'm not sure Kaminga really needs to play, but Draymond's also one of those guys that really, at his age, just probably can't play 40 minutes of center at this point especially against Domantas Sabonis. So I see why they played Kaminga, but I think I would try and get away from Kaminga as much as possible.
Hmm. So with all that being said, it's time to make some predictions. Um, where do you see this series going after game one?
I have the Warriors in 6.
Okay, I agree. I'm the same way.
I have the Warriors in 6. I think this is they kind of expected the punch. I mean, Steph Curry even said after the game that like game one, kind of like a feeling out process. And I think the Warriors probably win in 6. They're just the better team. And one thing I just want to touch very, very quickly on is just the Kings bench was awesome. And these are just nothing to take away from the Kings bench, but these are just not I think they played way above their capabilities. Lyles being a +7 in 18 minutes. Alex Len being +10 in 13 minutes. I didn't even know he was still in the rotation. Davion Mitchell +4 in 22, and then obviously Malik Monk with the huge game, +10 in 29 minutes. But I just don't expect the Kings bench to be this good going forward. And I expect the Warriors bench to play better. I mean, Wiggins shot 1 of 8 from 3. I don't expect that to continue. And then Poole, I thought only playing 22 minutes was probably a little bit on the lower end. I think you can try and find ways to get Poole more minutes at the expense of maybe Kaminga. Or I mean Dante DiVincenzo only played 20, but I don't know. Do you think that they switch up their starting lineup here? Do you think that they take DiVincenzo out and maybe go with Poole, Wiggins, or Peyton?
I think they'll probably plug in Poole for game two,
Really?
and they'll go with that. What do they call it? The death lineup.
Yeah, they're definitely. Mm.
Curry, Poole, Thompson, Wiggins, Green.
I think they'll
Um,
they'll probably bring Wiggins off the bench.
yeah,
At least, I mean, because that was his first game since February, I believe.
yeah.
To play 28 minutes of Wiggins, yeah. I don't know. This game is tonight. This is definitely a game I will be watching 100%, and I am looking forward to seeing this game. I think it's going to be awesome.
If the Kings win tonight, is the series over?
No,
No.
no. I think the Warriors will. The Warriors will. If the Kings win tonight, it's going to be very hard for the Warriors to win 4 out of 5 games. but I think they can do it. But I will say this: if the Kings win tonight, I will switch. I would think that the Kings win the series if they can win tonight, but I don't think they're going to win tonight. So that's why I think the Warriors in 6 is still probably where I would go.
Okay, I agree with that one. You want to move on to the Suns versus the Clippers?
Yeah, last game 1, Suns Clippers.
Yeah, so the Clippers won this game 115 to 110. Some of the big headlines, probably the biggest one was Kawhi Leonard's 38 points. And then we also saw Westbrook, shooting 3 for 19 from the floor, 3 for 19. But he did make the game-winning play, blocking Devin Booker and then, midair, chucking it off his body and giving Clippers possession. So with all that being said, where do you want to start?
I feel like this is, I mean, I'm just gonna go look back quickly. This has been a key point for the Kings. It's been a key point for the Knicks. And I mean that's pretty much it. But
You're going with bench here, right?
The Clippers bench just Mason Plumlee in 18 minutes plus 16, Bones Highland in 13 minutes plus 13, Terrence Mann in 24 minutes plus 13, Norman Powell in 23 minutes plus 11. I mean, these benches, I think, have been the reason that some of these teams have won these close games. I mean, think about all 3 of those teams, the Knicks, the Clippers, and the Kings. Their benches were awesome. Their benches outperformed their starters at points, and all 3 of those teams won close games. So I think that just having these benches, I think is going to be huge for these teams because it's already proved huge. These benches have been one of the reasons that when their starters have to go out, that they've been able to maintain, if not grow the lead or take the lead. And then the reason that they've won the game. So I just think that the Clippers bench played a huge part in this game.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously, this Suns bench was horrible. Only gave 10 bench points, which I think he kind of expected, to not really have great bench production after that KD trade.
Yeah.
But you can't expect something this putrid. So I really don't know what you do, because you have Kevin Durant playing 45 minutes. Obviously, after Achilles tear a few years ago, that's not in an old age. That's not going to sustain. Booker played 43. Paul played 39. You have to find bench production.
I mean, it's just when you just look through the box score, I mean, it's just hilarious. Monty Williams tried 6 different guys off the bench, and then none of them worked. None of them were even close to working. Like, just some of these plus minuses, and just these so like small sample size of like Ish Wainwright only played 7 minutes minus 12. Josh Okogie 7 minutes minus 10. Bismack Biyombo 5 minutes and was still minus 11 somehow. Jock Landale 8 minutes minus 8. Landry Shamet was the only guy who actually played minutes. He played 24, was still a minus 14. And then Terrence Ross played 4 and was a minus 1. So I just don't, I mean, I'm surprised not looking at it that they went Ross over Damian Lee. That I probably would have gone Damian Lee. I mean, TJ Warren, I mean, I don't think he's anything special, but I mean, I think you at least try him, I guess. I guess you just try players at this point because nothing worked. Their starters just had to play a ton of minutes. And KD isn't going to be able to play 45 minutes every game.
No, absolutely not. I don't think Paul can play 39 a game too.
Yeah. And then, I mean, it was just interesting. This game in general, this is one of the ones I wish I would have watched, but I was so frustrated. I won't lie. After the Bucks game, I just I couldn't watch it. I was just so.
We didn't even play 2K with us last night. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a rough day, but like just I wish I would have watched this game just to see how like the Clippers starters weren't good. Kawhi Leonard was the only one who had a positive plus minus. And he was +3. It wasn't like it was anything special. Like this, I would love to go back and watch just this bench unit for the Clippers and just see like where did it go wrong for the Nets? Did their benches just match up? Because all the plus minuses on the Suns bench were awful, and all the plus minuses on the Clippers bench were terrible, or all the plus minuses on the Clippers bench were awesome. So did they just like throw out 5 bench guys at a time, and then that's what happened?
I guess so. I did not watch this game either.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, it looks like pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is another really, really going to be a good series. I didn't expect it to be very. I expected the Clippers to compete because they're a very talented team. I didn't expect them to come out and win game one. I mean, just think about it. Wasn't it just last year where the Clippers went down like 2-0 and almost like in both of their series?
What
I
do you mean?
like they started down 2-0. I know they played the Mavs last year, I believe, and they started down 2-0. They might have been down 3-0. They still lost that one. But I'm pretty sure their first round series, they also started down 2-0.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, I mean, just see the Clippers come out here, win game one without Paul George, your second best player. It's just, this is just something I wasn't expecting.
And with Westbrook shooting 3 for 19.
And they found a way to win, which is just, it shows just how good this Clippers team can be, I think.
Yeah,
Especially
I will.
if they can get Paul George back.
Yeah, and I will say I don't think we've mentioned this, but Eric Gordon was incredible yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, Giving you 19 points. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming.
Yeah.
Um, Very good, very very good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this is. I think we have a series here. I was expected it to be. I would have been. I would have. This probably would have. This could have been series of the playoffs. I think if Paul George was in, but I think we still have a series here.
I mean, I think it still might be series of the playoff with the way Kawhi plays in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. So where do you think this series goes from here?
I I think I'm leaning Clippers in 7.
Clippers in 7.
Clippers in 7. Why do I say that? Well, obviously we know Kevin Durant's not going to play. Probably not going to play 45 minutes again, right? He might.
I don't know, man. I remember back in 2021 when the old KD played the Bucks, man. That dude didn't sit for like games 6 and 7. He played every single minute, so you can't rule that out.
Okay, well, if he does, he's certainly not going to be as effective as a well-rested Kevin Durant is. Second, you know, as a Clippers fan, Westbrook's not going 3 for 19 from the floor again, or 16% from the floor again, whatever it was. That's not happening again.
I agree.
Uh, I I trust in Kawhi. He's one of the best playoff performers of all time. Um, Keep trusting in Kawhi,
Yeah,
and your bench is ultimately much better than the Suns bench, which I think is the deciding factor. And Clippers in 7.
yeah. That I mean, that Suns bench is so bad. It is so bad. I,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't.
we knew that right after the Kevin Durant trade.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I think it just got overshadowed in the regular season. I didn't realize they just don't. I don't like just really just. I mean, you got campaign did not play in this game. That's one thing that's their best bench player, I think. But I think it definitely went underrated. I think it got overshadowed by the Suns going 8-0 with KD. Just how absolutely putrid this bench is. It's so bad.
uh,
Like they don't
they
have
need to step up.
they just don't. I don't think they have one quality NBA player. Yeah, I mean, your top bench guys, Landry Shamet, playing 24 minutes.
Yeah, you did mention this earlier. I do want to see Damian Lee get some minutes.
Yeah, I think I mean, he's got to be better than Ish Wainwright, Josh Okogie, and Terrence Ross. If you took all, what did they play for 18 minutes? I think 18 Damian Lee minutes are better than 7 Ish, 7 Josh, and 4 Terrence Ross minutes.
Agreed.
All right. Well, with that being said, I still think the Suns win this series.
Really?
I think that they probably win in 6 or 7.
I mean, I think this has to be going to 7 after what we saw yesterday. Like,
I
there's
think
no reason to believe it doesn't go to 7.
I'm not I don't know about you. If the Clippers win game 2, I'm not ready to say the series is over, which like I would be if the Lakers win game 2. Then I'm confident that series is over. I'm not confident that the series is over if the Suns lose game 2, but it becomes very, very, very challenging. And I know that a report came out that Paul George is likely to miss the entire series. But as you drag out this series, you just got to have Paul George in the back of your head thinking, what if, you know?
Oh, wasn't it confirmed that he's out the rest of the
Oh,
series?
was it confirmed?
I think it was confirmed.
Okay, well then, yeah.
Um,
But still, I mean, you never know.
I still think the Clippers are probably the better team on, you know, top to bottom,
Yeah.
even without Paul George.
The Suns bench concerns me so much because they can't. I mean, this isn't a young team. Kevin Durant's not young. Chris Paul's not young.
No,
They can't be playing. They
Devin
can't
Booker is not that good.
really.
No,
Okay, I don't know about that, but
he's
all right.
not a good player.
So I'll go Suns in 7 probably.
Okay, well, you know my stance. I'm going Clippers in 7.
All right. So that's gonna be it for game 1. Tonight we have Suns Warriors, or no, Kings Warriors and Nets Sixers. So I'm not sure when we'll be back next, but we'll definitely be discussing the games what next time we see you guys. But until then, any final thoughts?
Well, I am going to the Hawks Celtics game 3 on Friday. So I'm
Oh,
very excited for that.
all right.
Um,
Awesome.
hopefully the Celtics go up 3-0. But I mean, I don't really have anything else to say.
All right. And I
I
will
think we
leave.
covered everything.
Yeah, I think we did. I will leave with Bucks and 5.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everyone, and we will see you all next time.